Hello and welcome to Geology Concepts. Today, we are going to discuss another important topic for your upcoming Combined Geoscientist Mains examination. Right? Today, we are going to discuss about how to manage time effectively in your mains answer writing and also in the actual examination that will be held in June 22nd of this year. Right? So, without any further ado, let's get started. So, most of the aspirants have a dilemma in their mind that in the mains answer, is it quantity that should be prioritized or is it quality that should be prioritized, right? Well, the answer is both of them, right? So, when you see the quality parameters upon which the mark is given, there is a, I'll say, ARSR framework. What are them? They are analysis, relevance, structuring and representation. How well have you analyzed the question in your answer paper? What are the demands of the question and where you being able to answer all the parts of the question in a relevant manner. That is how the analysis and relevance is judged, right? Then comes the structuring in terms of intro, body and conclusion. How well have you structured your answer in the actual paper? That is also something that gives you marks, right? And also the representation in terms of flowcharts, diagrams and relevant illustrations that you need to give to support your argument in the paper. So based on these quality framework, the ARSR quality framework, most of the judgment of your answer is given, right? And also quantity parameters should also be prioritized, because if it is a 15 marker question, so the word limit is 250 and the page limit is almost 3 pages, right? So you cannot expect that you will write 1 page and you'll get the full mark for the 15 markers, right? So you should balance both your quality and quantity in the answer paper. Now, the most important challenge in the mains answer or mains as a whole is to break that 80 to 90 marks barrier. Why do I say that? See, each paper is of 200 marks, right? So, the 80 to 90 is a average to moderate mark, right? So, this is something that most of the aspirants will be able to achieve, the 80 to 90% mark. But the challenge is to get 1 extra mark per question, right? So, this 1 extra mark per question will make your answer from average to exceptional, right? So, 1 extra mark, how do you get it? By prioritizing both quality and quantity parameters. That is, you write good analysis in your answer, analyze and break the question into relevant portions and answer them effectively. Be relevant to your answer. Whatever the question has asked, be specific and write the answer within the scope of the question. The structuring is good, representation is good, and you have not exceeded your word limit, and being in the word limit, you have done all this. That 1 extra mark will benefit you to achieve high score and break that average barrier to go to the exceptional marks, right? So this is the debate over quantity versus quality. Now, when you get the question paper, how do you go about it and how actually you can strategize your answer framework in the actual exam, right? That is something that we need to discuss. See, once you get your question paper, don't get into hurry to answer whatever you see or whatever the visible question that comes to your mind, that this is something that I am very confident about, I'm going to write it. Don't go straight away to write your answers, right? First and foremost, do at least 5 minutes of SWOT analysis of the question, right? 5 minutes spare karo to read the question in a very effective manner. This is the first step, right? Now comes the second step. What is the second step? After reading the question for 5 minutes very thoroughly, you need to segregate the question into 3 categories, I would say. So if you see in most of the papers, around 10 questions will be there where you will be very confident, because they are mostly repetitive in nature or the same concept that you have studied before. Questions are based on that. So these are the star category question, because you know in and out of that question. You know everything about it. You can easily write that answer in a very good way, right? You know certain flowcharts and diagrams that can be included in the answer as well. So it is a very that you can write a very good answer for your star category questions. So those 10 questions you need to identify first, where you are very confident that you can write a very good or proper analyzed answer, right? Now comes the second category, which are the average category answer, which means you don't know it completely, but you know some concepts about it, you know from which portion of the syllabus this question has come, and there will be around 3 to 4 questions which will fall into this average category, right? And then comes the flop category question, which are about 1 to 2 questions will be there, which will be out of the blue, and you don't know which part of the syllabus it has come, and also you don't have very good answer ready-made for this kind of question. So you need to first categorize your question into these 3 categories. Now, once you categorize these questions, your first and foremost focus should be on star category questions. Why? Because these are the questions that are going to give you marks. These are the questions that are going to break your that 80 to 90 barrier easily, right? These are the questions that will help you to score more if you are confident about it, right? And also it helps to gain some confidence, because once you start writing the answers in a good way or maintain the flow, you gain the confidence in the paper, and that confidence will help you answering the average as well as the flop category questions, right? So that's why I said the categorization is very important, because once you are confident about the paper, once you start writing, once you gain that flow, it is very easy to answer the average and flop category, because you start to draw interlinkages more effectively, because your brain function is at its optimal level, right? So that's why the star category needs more attention, right? So this is the sequence prioritization that you need to do. Now, overall paper में आपका क्या strategy होना चाहिए? Now you have prepared for at least past 3-4 months dedicated to the mains. You know your skills, how you write your answers, what are your strengths and weaknesses. So accordingly, you plan ahead, right? You know your skills, you need to plan ahead. Now, in these 3 hours, you have to write 200 marks in total, right? 200 मार्क के टोटल पेपर है, 3 घंटे के अंदर हमें इसको फिनिश करना है. सो कीप अ रफ एस्टिमेट ऑफ आवरली स्पीड. आप 1 घंटे में कितना लिख पा रहे हो, उसका एक रफ एस्टिमेट आपके पास होना चाहिए अब तक, राइट? अब now the most important thing is, after writing an answer, don't go and check the time again and again, because it will again be wasting your time, right? So there should be a half an hours of window where you should check your speed, that if it is okay and if it is going in the desired speed that you wanted from yourself, right? So this is something that you need to analyze within every half an hour. See कि आप कितने questions लिख पा रहे हो, और वो question जो writing speed है, is it within the time limit that you have set for yourself, right? So that is how you should check your speed. Also, do not exceed the word limit, because I said that 5 markers you need to write 75 to 100 words for 75 mostly, and then 10 you need to write 150 words, and for 50 250 words, right? So 1 page, 2 page and 3 pages max, right? So do not exceed that word limit, and do not overwrite in your paper, because if you do that, you will be able to miss out, you won't be able to finish the paper, and you will be missing out on many questions in the end, right? So the overall paper में जो UPSC का expectation होता है, it is 4000 words in 3 hours. Around 4000 words in 3 hours, which translates to roughly 25 to 30 words per minute. So judge your speed accordingly. So this is about the whole paper. How do you approach the whole paper? Now, for each specific question, if I say you that how do you go about each specific question? So for every question, the thumb rule is you don't want to exceed the designated time limit. First thing that you need to keep in mind, right? Do not exceed the designated time on one question, right? And also you need to save time on your flop and average category questions. वहाँ पे टाइम सेव करो, because you don't know much about it. जितना आता है उतना लिखो, वहाँ पे स्टक होके मत बैठ जाना. And utilize the time you have saved there in your star categorization question, because वहाँ पे आप बहुत अच्छे से लिख सकते हो. You can beautify your answer if you want in that star categorized question. You can make more flowcharts, more diagrams, more analysis. You can put in those answers in your star category, for which you need to save your time from this flop and average category questions, right? So accordingly, strategize your answer writing in the actual exam. And also, if you don't remember something in the exam, किसी point पे आके आप stuck हो जा रहे हो, you are not able to recall what is there to write, then just do it, just finish it and move on, right? Don't stuck there and don't be stuck at a question and lose on other questions. Your priority is to finish the paper first, right? So you have to finish the paper at any cost. कोई भी question छूटना नहीं चाहिए, right? So in order to do that, you have to move on. You don't stuck somewhere where you you are not being able to recall more points on, right? So finish it and move on. Just do it, right? And then if somewhere you feel stuck, one thing that you can do is you can read the question again, right? Reading the question multiple times keeps you within the requirement of the question. So this is a very good technique to see if you are relevant to your question or not. Question में जो पूछा गया है, बहुत बार ये होता है कि when we start writing, we tend to forget what the question has asked and ultimately we write what we know. That is not how you get marks, right? So for that to happen, you need to be within the requirement of the question, and for that to happen, you have to read the question multiple times. So keep this in mind, right? So never exceed the designated time limit first. Then save time on your average and flop category question to utilize them in your star categorization question. Wherever you feel stuck, read the question again. If you still feel that you are not being able to recollect more points on that, please move on. Don't get stuck there, right? So this is how you tackle each specific question. Now, certain things to keep in mind, that this is an examination. So the mains is a one-day match, right? One-day match. You have to answer all the questions, but it does not mean that you have to give 100% to every question, right? So this is not how you tackle the mains. जहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा आते हैं वहाँ पे डबल डाउन करो, उस चीज़ को मैक्सिमाइज करो, वहाँ पे कैसे स्कोरिंग पोटेंशियल को मैक्सिमाइज किया जा सकता है वो देखो. जहाँ पे नहीं आ रहा है, एटलीस्ट राइट समथिंग रिलेवेंट as per the concept that is asked in the question, right? So not every question needs your 100%, right? And also believe in your preparation, because you have prepared for more than 1.5 years. And if something is new for you, it is new for everyone, right? So don't get overwhelmed by seeing the question which is out of syllabus or out of your reading list, right? Also, don't try to play with the examiner. This is the very important thing. If you are not confident about something and you are beating around the bush, this won't work. This will not fetch you good marks. So don't beat around the bush. Be specific to the question or whatever is asked in the question. Write accordingly, right? And mains is about the extra fractions. That extra 1 mark, that extra 1.5 marks is actually makes a huge difference, right? So we need to focus on that as well. Also, go with the flow, and while you write and think. That means whenever you are reading a question, something that comes to your mind, you prepare the flow or you prepare the answer around that. Then do that. Don't overanalyze something, right? जब भी कुछ पढ़ रहे हो उसको लेके ओवर एनालाइज करने से क्वेश्चन आपको जो एक तो आप टाइम वेस्ट करोगे, दूसरा you will not be able to write whatever you have in your mind at that point. So just keep it simple. Whatever is coming to your mind, उसी को कैसे आप अच्छे से लिख सकते हो, focus on that. So go with the flow and don't overanalyze it or don't overcomplicate it, right? And based on that, I'll also want to tell you that write in a language that comes naturally to you. That means you don't have to write complicated English in your answer. This exam is meant for you to be a geologist, right, and not a journalist, right? So overcomplicated lengthy sentences are not required in the exam. That is why most of our videos I tell you that you write short and crisp sentences, but you don't need to write lengthy sentences which are which can go wrong grammatically or something. You just need to write about specific concepts and supporting words around that, so that first thing that you are not using much time to write a sentence, and also it is short and crisp, which is easy to revise on the go, right? That means you need to revise on the go as well, because देखो जब हम आंसर लिख पूरा, if you feel कि you will be able to revise the answer once you finish the paper, that will not going to happen. Never. Take my words for that. You can what you can do is, once you start writing a question, you can revise it and break the answer into parts and revise it accordingly. That means when you are finished with your intro, revise, just go through it once, then your body go through it once, and your conclusion go through it once. So no need to go into everything that you have written. You just need to see if you have missed something or not. That is what is that is what I mean when I say that you need to revise on the go. Don't feel that you will be able to revise the whole paper once you complete the paper itself. It will not going to happen, right? So revise on the go and prioritize your skills that you have acquired through your answer writing or giving the tests. And before you go to the actual mains and write the mains in the examination or the paper in the examination, please, whatever we have discussed till now, please apply them in the tests that you are writing in this time period, right? So please be specific about your answers. Please analyze them correctly, and please strategize your writing skills accordingly, right? So don't overcomplicate it. Keep it simple, and I hope you will be able to sail through. I'll see you in the next one.